Hi, if you're watching later. Hello. No one's here. I'll just wait. Oh, I look great. I look really good, guys. I'm so attractive. Hi. Yes, I am resting. Thank you, Iz. Hi, guys. I look terrible. Just deal with it, because I don't even feel... I'm not even like, ugh. I just called my mother and told her what happened, and that was the happiest phone call I've had with her in a very long time, and it just boosted my spirits, and I just love it. I'm doing okay. I'm very dizzy today. Very dizzy, very nauseous, and very much in pain, but I'm okay. It's been worse. It's getting better. Whoops. Hold on. Oh, you missed it, Tiffany. Oh, okay. Well, I can tell you now. So the reason I took down yesterday's live stream is because I told you something before I told my mom, and I shouldn't have done that. And I felt really, really bad about it. I felt really guilty that I told you guys before I told my mom. And so I took the live stream down and called her, but she was asleep last night. And I finally just talked to her about an hour ago. So now I'm going live again to kind of tell the whole story. And I've also kind of had some time to process and think it through and kind of identify a little bit more feelings that I'm having about it. So I had a miscarriage. I found out, I took a pregnancy test on Friday night and it was positive. Thursday night, and it was positive. And then went to the doctors on Friday, and they said that I had most likely miscarried it. So I've been going through, like, I'm sure the sadness hasn't fully hit me, but now I don't even know if it will, because, like, after talking to my mom, like, she just kind of confirmed the goodness of this, which is that it's so cool that I can even get pregnant. Like, what a huge blessing that is. That's a huge, huge blessing that I can even get pregnant, because we had all given up on hope with that. And so now it's like, I don't know, I'm choosing to take it as a positive, like, maybe this is Heavenly Father's way of telling me, hey, you can do this if you want to. And if you take care of yourself enough, then it will stick, type of a feeling is what I'm getting. So anyway, I told her, just barely, and I expected her to be really sad and upset, but she was so happy. Like, she was sad, of course, but she was so happy, because she's like, oh my gosh, you just made my whole day, you made my whole life, you made my whole Mother's Day. This is the best news I've gotten in so long. Because, guys, like, I've never seen a positive pregnancy test in my life, so it's a big deal, you know? Yeah, so it's a very, very good thing, because, like, it probably would be a lot more sad if I had known that I was pregnant before I miscarried, but I didn't even know that. Like, I just had the miscarriage, but I didn't know that I was pregnant. And by the way, I do need a blood transfusion. That's the other thing they tested at the doctor, and I do need a blood transfusion. So they said that I could have either gone to the emergency room yesterday and gotten it done faster, or just go Monday when they can set it up. So I decided to save the, $600 that it would cost to go to the emergency room. Decided to save it, wait till Monday, and I'm just going to rest today and tomorrow as much as I can, and just try and, like, lay down and stay not super active. I'll probably have, like I was supposed to go to dinner with Alicia, but I'll probably have her bring me dinner instead, and we'll just rest and talk or something. I don't know. So how did I figure I was pregnant? Okay, so here's a whole story for those of you that don't know. So about 10 days ago, 11 days now, so normally when I get my period, and it's really iffy for me to tell what even is my period versus just bleeding from my endometriosis because I bleed. I have 2 to 3 periods a month. But obviously, probably only one of those is an actual period, I think. I don't know how it works. But I bleed, for 5 days, 2 to 3 times a month. But every time that happens, I get the same symptoms right before. So, like 2 days before, I'll get PMS, I'll get really bad cramping, and I'll get discharge that has a little bit of blood in it. And that's how I know I'm going to start in 2 days. This time there was no warning. So I was peeing on the toilet, had no warning at all, no feelings at all. I stood up, after I wiped, I stood up and blood just gushed out everywhere. And it was awful, and it was a lot of blood. It was very painful. And then I was thrown into this the next couple days where that, like, lots of gushing, lots of blood, lots of pain, lots of clots, lots of little, just a lot of stuff. And I was like, this is so weird. Like, this isn't a normal period. What's happening? But then it stopped. So after 2 days of it being super, super crazy like that, it stopped completely. So no bleeding, no discharge, nothing for 2 whole days, nothing at all. And I was like, that is so bizarre. So I took a pregnancy test and it was negative. So I was like, okay, then I thought I knew I had miscarried, but I was like, well, the test would have been positive if I had miscarried. And so, hold on. Obviously now we know it was a false negative. So anyway, probably because I used one of the dollar store ones that first night. Smart. So then the bleeding came back after those 2 days of nothing. The gushing came back, but it wasn't nearly as severe. Just kind of like pain, like cramp pain. And, and that's the other thing. The pain was very different than my normal periods. Like the cramps were very, very different. I don't even know how to describe it. It was kind of like a squishy pain, if that makes sense. It's really hard to explain, but it was just different. It was not cramping, like normal period cramps. So then, once it started gushing again, it wasn't constant. It was just kind of maybe 2 or 3 times a day it would gush and stuff would come out, and eventually tissue started to show up in it and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, something's up. So I made an appointment because I was losing so much blood and I'm so dizzy and nauseous. And then I got it in my head like, oh, because my friend Kayla was like, maybe you need another blood transfusion. And I was like, oh, maybe that's what this whole thing is. Maybe that's what it is, because the last time I had one, I thought I was pregnant too. I was like, maybe that's all this is. Maybe I'm just losing tons and tons of blood. And that's why I'm feeling so sick, and maybe I'm just losing tons of blood because of my endometriosis. That's very like possible. Obviously, endometriosis is horrible, and it does all kinds of things like that to you. So maybe this was endometriosis. So I made an appointment to go get my blood tested to test if I needed a blood transfusion. So the night before my appointment, Thursday night, I found a pregnancy test, and I was like, I might as well take it just for fun. And I took it, and it was positive. And there was a very, very faint second line. And I looked on the back of the box. I looked it up on the internet. I've heard other people's experience. If there's even a faint line, that means that there's HCG in you. So I, of course, freaked out. I wanted to tell you guys so badly. I wanted to post the picture and be like, are you seeing a second line too, or is it just me? But I didn't. So I called Danny right away, and I didn't want to because I didn't know what to do, because what if I was pregnant and it stuck? What if I don't want to have to call Danny and just tell him randomly like that over the phone in Fiji. I've always had a dream of ways that I would tell him, and that's not how it would be, but I just didn't know what else to do. So I called him and I was like, I'm going to send you a picture and you need to tell me if you see a second line. And he was like, okay. And he's always extremely paranoid about this stuff because he doesn't want to get his hopes up, nor does he want me to get mine up. So I sent him the picture and he called me back. He FaceTimed me back and he was like, there's a second line. And I was like, I know. And so we of course had we were joking about it, we were laughing, we were crying, we didn't know, we didn't want to get our hopes up because we're like, it's probably a miscarriage. But it just was kind of exciting. We've never seen that before ever on a pregnancy test. We've never seen a positive pregnancy test. So I took another one, and the same thing. There was a faint second line. So the next day, which was yesterday, I went to the doctor to get my blood checked for the transfusion, and I said, can you check if I'm pregnant too? I told them what happened. So they had me do a urine sample, and they said that it came back negative. And they said that they think that because the line was really, really faint the night before, they said that they think that I miscarried and that we had caught like the tail end of it, especially since it was over 10 days ago. They said that that's kind of when it would stop being there, if that makes sense. So anyway, so I'm not pregnant anymore. I was. You cannot get a false positive on those tests at home. You can get a false negative, but you can't get a false positive. So that's where they were like, yeah, you miscarried. And at first I was like, do I be sad? Do I be excited that I was even able to get pregnant? Like right now I'm still kind of in that phase of like, well, how cool that I was able to get pregnant. Like I feel sad deep, deep, deep down, but I haven't let it out yet. And I'm sure I will. It'll come. But for now I'm just like, what a huge blessing. What a huge blessing in disguise that something that made me feel so sad also made me feel so hopeful that I can even get pregnant. Like that's huge. That's huge. I'm not reading any of your comments. So that's the story basically. Yeah, it gave me motivation to get better. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I just feel like this was Heavenly Father's way of being like, okay, now you know it's possible, but if you want to keep them babies, you got to take care of your body, girl. And it also taught me that I did still want a baby because I'm telling you, like I had given up on it. I had completely given up on it. I was like, there's no way it's going to happen. I've destroyed my body. I've been told I'm not going to be able to have kids, most likely. I've been told I have a 1% chance. Mix that with my endometriosis and the way that Danny and I have sex, and like it's just not going to happen. So the fact that it even happened despite all of those things, it's a miracle. So that's huge. So I don't know. Yeah. I know. I was just talking to my mom about that. So many people have said they're more fertile after a miscarriage, and now you're more motivated than ever to take care of yourself. Exactly. Yeah, so many people said that yesterday. Too bad Danny's in Fiji for another week, but what did I say was for fun is? Anyway, so my blood transfusion should be happening Monday. I hope they'll just get me right in there because I need it desperately. Thanks, Tiffany. I'm sure I'll cry. I mean, I've cried a little, but not a lot yet. It hasn't like fully hit me. It has almost hit me, and then like I swallow it down and try to push it down with like the positivity of it because I don't want to get too sad because don't have my husband here with me. I kind of want to like wait till he gets home to deal with that, but I'm sure it'll come out before then. We'll see. Oh, I'm so sorry, Kaylin. Is that your name? Oh, it is so motivating, isn't it? By the way, if you do cry and break down, that doesn't make you less strong. Thank you, girl. Be strong and go forward. At least this time you're closer than ever. I know, isn't that just crazy? Kaylin, that's such a pretty name. Thanks, Amanda. I'm so happy for you. Now take care of yourself, girl. Get you a baby. Yeah, it's definitely put a fire under my belly. Fire under my butthole. How does that saying go? Fire under my belly? Butthole. I don't know. Oh, yeah, Tiffany. Oh, I'm the worst. When do you need it by? I'm the worst. Oh. Oh, Caitlin. See, that's the thing. They couldn't even tell me because it wasn't positive anymore, so they couldn't even tell me how many weeks I was or anything like that. I feel like that. Did you know you were pregnant before you lost it? Because I feel like that's like way harder. If you know that if you're aware that you're pregnant and then you lose it, that's way, way harder. I mean, it's still hard. May 17th. Okay. Okay, Tiff. That's when you need them, or that's when his birthday is? That's when you need the thing, or? Yeah. Ugh. Oh, you didn't know. Okay. So they told you after how many weeks you were. Yeah. Yeah, Charlotte. Uh-huh. Exactly. When you need the thing. Okay, Tiff. I promise you I'll work on it and get it to you. His birthday is May 20th. Okay. How old is he going to be, Tiff? You should have him come on the live so I can sing to him. Thanks. I missed my period and took a test, and it was negative, so I continued on with my life. That's what happened to me. Well, except I didn't miss a period because my periods aren't regular either. I have PCOS. See, that's the thing. I feel like a lot of women with endometriosis or PCOS miscarry because it's really hard to tell when your actual period is. That's the worst part about it is that, well, for me, I'm bleeding 2 to 3 times a month. And so it's hard. It's really, really hard to tell. I even had a month this year, I think either February or March, I can't remember, where I only bled once. So it's really, really hard to tell when you've got those issues because it just sends you into random bleeding sometimes. And you're like, okay, which one's a period? Which one's not? Because for me, they all felt like periods. Oh, he goes to bed earlier. Oh, okay. Thanks, Stacy. It is very special. I know. Tell Danny to get home. I know, right? Endomeanness. So true. Bring Danny home. Hashtag. Can you come home to get me pregnant? He probably would. He'd be like, yes, I'll be on the plane right now. Danny, are you watching? I told him to watch this. He might be watching. God knows when the timing is right, so believe that he is with you. I love you, and I hope the best for you and Danny. You guys are great people, and I can see you being great parents. Thank you, Stacy. That's sweet. Hashtag get Shanny pregnant. Thank you, Kaylin. I can't read that, Coacher. To Jagans nicht Wasserner, blah, 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 blah. Einget Billet Leipzig. I know. That's what I was thinking. How can I help myself to prevent self-harm? I have made so many videos on this. You should go watch them. Go watch all my self-harm videos. I've given like alternatives and all kinds of stuff. And I'm sorry you're going through that. Maybe. We'll see. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my blood transfusion, then I'm going to make an appointment with my doctor and go and talk to her about this. Talk about like options from now and what she thinks I need to do. Because I know she's going to be like, well, you need to stop purging completely first. And then we need to make sure all the medications I want are safe. If they're not, then we need to go off of them. So all kinds of stuff needs to happen to be safe. That was German, and you are so cute. I'm from Germany, and that wasn't bad. Did I do okay? I was close. What did they say then? Yellow, what were they saying? Oh, yeah, I could do that, Tiffany. There you go. Yeah, yes, I'll sing to him. Are you 100% wanting to try for a baby now? No. If I'm being honest, no. Because I don't think I'm healthy enough to carry one. So I'd rather talk to the doctor first, talk it over with Danny more. Like, this whole thing was so unexpected that I shouldn't, like, we don't want to jump into anything that we're not ready for yet. But it's been a huge blessing to know that it's possible whenever we are ready. And so now it's, again, put a fire under our butthole to get ready to try, if that makes sense. Okay, Tiff. Hello, Shanny. So do you wear New Balance, Nike, or Asics shoes? Asics? I don't know what that word is, and I don't know what kind of shoes those are. I don't wear any of those because I don't wear shoes. I hate shoes. But if I had to choose, like if I had to run or something, which I never do, but I should, I'd probably choose Nike. But I wear flip-flops from Old Navy. Always. Or Crocs. Or boots. Not boots. They're like shoe boots in the winter. But I'm pretty much always wearing flip-flops. Or no shoes. I hate shoes. Maybe when you get things sorted, you and Danny, you sorted, get you and Danny's bits frozen. We can ask. I'll ask my doctor. And I don't know, I think I might actually. Charlotte, is it possible that you had a high-risk pregnancy, so that's why you miscarried? Probably. I don't know. What do you mean? I mean, what I think you mean, I would say yes, which is that my body's just not healthy enough to carry it, and so maybe, I don't know exactly what you mean. Tell me what you mean. I've never watched Game of Thrones. I should. No, I'm not feeling better today. I'm feeling worse, but my spirits are better today. Much, much, much better. Oh, I'm sorry, Emily. I'm so sorry, Emily. See, that's rough. That's like so hard when you are either trying for it or you already knew you were and then lost it. That is so much different. That is so hard. I can't imagine the pain you're going through. I am so, so sorry, honey. I've never watched Game of Thrones. I feel like I wouldn't understand it. If it's anything like Lord of the Rings, I don't understand what's happening in that movie. Like, I'm not smart enough to follow it. And I have a feeling Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones is similar. Like, you have to be really smart to be able to follow it, and I can't do that. I'm really dumb. Hey, Sarah. The doctor was good. I just got done explaining it. I'll save this live this time, and I will leave this one up. You guys can go back and watch it if you'd like. But short story, I'm getting a blood transfusion, hopefully on Monday, and I had a miscarriage. Short story. Oh, I love Boy Meets World. That was my jam in high school. It's okay, Sarah. Right now I'm still in like, I haven't let the sadness fully hit me yet. I'm just looking at the positives of it right now. And the fact that I even can get pregnant, that's huge. I wish Danny was home. Yeah, Sarah. Thanks, Tiff. I will. Oh, I feel dizzy. Hold on. Oh, okay. Is Danny not watching? He said he would. Today's his day off because it's Sunday where he is. Sunday morning. It's 10:30 on Sunday morning where he is. And they're not working today, but they're going to go to like a private island and just explore and go snorkeling and play. And like, he's so lucky. Well, you can go watch the whole story, Sarah, but basically, he was both shocked and excited and cautious because I got a positive pregnancy test on Thursday night, and we didn't know yet that it was a miscarriage. So we went a good 16 hours maybe before we found out that it was a miscarriage. So there was a 16-hour period where we were both like, do we need to prepare? Kind of freaking out, but also just being cautious because I think we both knew. But when he comes home, I'm very much looking forward to like grieving this with him and also being excited with him in person. Like, it's so different to have him here in person. It's okay over FaceTime, but it's not the same. Like, I want to hug him and cuddle him and snuggle him and just like spend every hour with him. So it sucks this is happening while he's gone, but maybe there's a reason. Maybe this is to make me stronger on my own too, because I'm definitely very attached to him. What's your favorite month of the year and why? I think my favorite month is October. I love December because of Christmas, but October is probably my favorite month because it's my birthday. It's Halloween. I love Halloween. It's also when fall is in like full bloom and it's like the prettiest, at least here in Utah. Everything is just gorgeous looking. The weather is perfect. It's like 70 degrees all the time, 65. Sometimes it's lower, but October is probably my favorite month ever. Tiff. You're so funny, Tiffany. I know, Sarah. Thank you. I know. Yeah, go back and watch it, Sarah, and you can hear all the details, all the thoughts that we had and stuff like that. There's no seasons in Florida. That's one good thing about Utah. The only frustrating thing is that it will snow one day and then it'll be 75 degrees the next day. And then it'll snow the next day and then it'll be 80 degrees the next day. Like, you never know, especially in the spring. But right now it's really nice. It's 70s outside and sunny. I hate it. I hate the sun. Whoa, I read that as Eugenia Cooney. Jasmine, you said I agree, but in England it's gloomy, and I read that as Eugenia Cooney. And now I'm thinking about Eugenia Cooney. Has anyone heard anything about her? That girl, I've been praying for her. We don't know anything. I just hope she's okay. Does anybody have any information or thoughts? Because I'm very, very curious to know what you guys are thinking. I'm hoping so hard and praying so hard that she is okay and that she's just in treatment and not able to, well, yeah, but she tweeted that, I think like 3 months ago now. When was it? Does anyone know how long ago it was? It was a long time ago. I just feel like, she had over 1 million followers. She's very, very well known on YouTube. I feel like she would at least like have her mom give us a message or something to let us know that she's okay, because she's a very sweet person. She's not a vindictive, mean, selfish person. She's a very, very sweet person. She does care about her followers. And so I feel like she would at least ask her mom to say something, or that she would at least say something like, I'm okay, I'm alive, don't worry, because it's been a really long time. Almost 4 months. Yeah. So she might not come back to YouTube ever, and that's fine. If that's going to help her, then great. But I I don't know. I just get the gut feeling that she would not just not say anything if she were okay, if she was alive. Hi, Kayla. Educating Kayla. Where, and you're worth it, and you're enough. I didn't finish your freaking video, dang it. I'll go do that right now after this. I might have Alicia bring me food. She wants to go out to get food, but I don't think I can leave. I'm too dizzy. No, we're talking about Eugenia Cooney. I sincerely hope, amen, Shanny, I sincerely hope she's just in treatment and can't use technology. I hope so too. But again, like if I were in treatment and I only have 90,000, I mean, that's amazing, but she's got 1 million and she really cares about her followers. She would spend all day with her followers on You Now and stuff. Alicia just texted and said, takeout sounds better. I agree, Alicia. We'll just chat here at my house instead. I need to catch up with her really badly. Has Alicia decided not to continue her channel? No, it's just that she and I both have not been able to match up a good time to do it. I've been really overwhelmed with my health. She's been really overwhelmed with work and other personal things going on. So as of right now, it's just kind of been put on the back burner, but she definitely wants to. She doesn't want it to end. Unless she's, well, that's what I was going to say. Like, she is allowed to talk to her mom once a week, probably, or write letters or something. So her mom has to know. Whoops. Her mom's got to know how she's doing. And so if it were me, I mean, maybe that's just me, but if it were me, I would be like, Mom, here's my password to YouTube. Can you please just make a 10-second video saying, Shanny's okay. We'll keep you posted or something. But maybe that's not the way she wants to do it, and that's okay too. Maybe it's very possible that her doctors and therapists are telling her to not tell the internet because she might get attacked for it and she can't handle that right now. So I don't know. We never know. But I just know for me, I probably would, I would say something. But that's just me. You need to tell the story of your family is your next topic, Kayla. And you can record that anytime. And Kayla knows how to do direct uploads now. So she can post those anytime, which is awesome because she doesn't have to edit it. She can just turn on the camera and talk and post it if she wants to. Do you have a job besides YouTube? No, I do not. Yeah, Tiff. Here's my password. That's true. But she might at least be like, go on Twitter. I don't know. Oh, sorry to change the topic. How did your friend do at the competition that sings? So my friend Ashley made American Idol Top 14. She got cut after that. I personally, I kind of think it's a better thing because if she had made, I didn't know this, if she had made top 10, she would have been, and then she didn't win or anything, she would have been under contract to go on tour with them for a year. But the fact that she got cut before top 10 means that she can go off and do her own stuff, which is what she's doing now. And she's planning a tour and she's doing really well. And now she's got a huge following. So she's getting things going. I'm pretty sure she's been signed already. So it actually ended up, I know, she's amazing. It actually ended up being a good thing. And I don't know, I feel like she didn't even fit in that competition. I feel like that competition is more for like younger, I don't know. I just feel like she's, is it rude to say I feel like she's better than that competition? That's just how I feel. And not because I'm biased. I truly think that she's like, she is Tori Kelly level status, if not better. Like, she's incredible. So I'm very, very excited. Yeah, it got her good exposure, so that's good. It got her an audience, and now she can go on tour. I'm sure it got her signed. I'm sure plenty of people have offered to sign her because she's that good. So You stay tuned. You're going to be hearing of her. Just trust me on this. You're going to be hearing of her. That's true. And it is kind of about drama, I think. And Alicia tried to tell me this because she was like, don't you notice how they're always like putting Alejandro in the spotlight the most? Like, obviously the producers want him to win because he's got the best story or whatever. And so they focus on him the most. And then people fall in love with him the most because they know him the most. Whereas with Ashley, they didn't even like barely showed her, hardly at all. The only round during like up until the live show that they showed of hers was in Hawaii, and it was the song that she hated the most, that she felt she did the worst on, and that's the one that they aired. They didn't air any of the other previous weeks where she had done originals that she had written, and they were her best performances, and like they aired that one, and then all of a sudden she made it and nobody knew who she was. And so yeah, so I agree. I think that it's not scripted, but I think it's manipulated a little bit by editing and stuff. So that's okay though, because now it's like, this is a better for her. This is way better. She could have won, in my opinion. She could have killed it, crushed the competition, but I honestly think it's the way that they, um, oh really, Tiffany? That's really cool. Yeah, I believe it. I heard that Eugenia didn't like her mom and that's why she moved out. Oh, there was an outtake from one of her videos where you hear her mom in the background saying, "You're the one making her sick." Saying you're the one making her sick. Wait, who is she saying that to? Wait, hold on. I heard that Eugenia didn't like her mom and that's why she moved out. There was an outtake from one of her videos where you hear her mom in the background saying, "You're the only one making her sick." Do you mean she said you're the only making you sick? That doesn't make sense. Oh. But, I mean, well, if her mom's not in her, someone's got to be in her life that she could tell to tell us. I don't know. I don't know, Tiffany. I'm confused too. You want a hair curling video? Okay. I just hope she's okay. Shanny, do you ever look back on videos like emergency surgery and finally hitting rock bottom? I just came across it, and there are some heartbreaking comments posted from a month ago on that video. I don't go and read the comments of that video in particular, especially with the one that says that's finally hitting rock bottom, because there are so many mean people on there being like, you lied, you said that this is the last time you're ever going to throw up. Of course I said that. That's how I felt at the time, and that's what I meant at the time. I meant that at the time. That's how horrible of a disease this eating disorder is, you know? So it really hurts when people are like, you promised, you said that you're never going to throw up again. That's because I meant it then, because I was in so much pain. And that, what would you rather me do? Like, I'm planning on continuing to throwing up, but it would be cool if I stopped. No, because I felt so much pain. I felt so much pain that I was like, I am never doing this again. I am never doing this again. So of course, like it should be looked at as part of my journey and growth, because that was the first time and I happened to document it. That was the first time where I was like, I am never doing this again. And how cool that I got that on documentation. And if people want to twist that and make it look like I lied, or I lied for attention, I lied for views or whatever, then that's on them and they'll be judged someday for that. I don't even care anymore. Like, I'm so over those people. They're awful. It's unbelievable. They're awful. Yeah, I've said this is the last time at least 50 times. And I'm not saying that you should mess up. If you feel like it's your last time, then say it and try and stick to it. But it's just not realistic. It's so infuriating. So no, I don't go back and watch those just because I know I'll be tempted to read the comments and I don't want to. Because the last time I did, which was back before Christmas, so 6 months ago, the comments were really bad. So I don't even dare to go look now. Did you have to get a colonoscopy and endoscopy to be diagnosed with gastroparesis? Yes. So what happened was they admitted me to the hospital for 3 days because why were they admitting me at the time? I was having digestive issues, but I think I was also having like severe anemia issues or something. I don't remember. It was so long ago. So they admitted me to the hospital because I was having severe pain. I couldn't get my pain under control, so they admitted me, and then the doctor came in and talked to me, and I told him I had an eating disorder, and he's like, okay, well, let's do a test on you because you're not digesting well. And I was like, well, that's because I have irritable bowel syndrome. And he was like, well, let's just make sure. And I'm like, okay. So they made me eat a meal, and then they waited 8 hours, and then they did an endoscopy, and they found that the food had not digested even a little bit, and that's how I was diagnosed. So I know they do colonoscopies too, but I think they had already done a colonoscopy or they did it at the same time or something. I don't remember because of the digestive issues I was having, and that's when they found that it was gastroparesis. How did you get diagnosed with fibromyalgia? I think I might have it. So I was diagnosed when I was 14, so 20 years ago. And the way they did it back then, I'm sure it's the same now, but I don't know because it's been 20 years. For me, they did kind of, it was pretty simple. It was painful, but it was simple. They would like touch me on different parts on my body and ask me how bad it hurt because when you have fibromyalgia, you have certain sensitive areas on your body. For me, it's joints in general and bones, but and muscles is what it feels like. But for me, like my worst fibro spots are my ribs, my collarbone, the bottom of my or the top of my hip bones on the back, like my back hip bones, my spine, my chest is really bad. These bones right here, my thighs are one of the worst. They get really bad in the winter. That's where I get the most pain is my thighs in the winter. So everybody's different. So they just did like poking me with their fingers literally and asked me how bad it hurt here, how bad did it hurt here. And I think I had like, out of the 10 spots, I had like 9 of them or something where it was excruciating pain. So that's how they diagnosed me, but it could be different these days. I don't know. You did an empty scan for gastroparesis? Yours is probably more severe than mine. Mine is not as severe. Like, it sucks that I can't poop on my own and that I have to use enemas, but literally there are people that have to have ostomy bags because of gastroparesis to the point, because they have it so bad. They've got a severe case. Mine is not that severe, but it's there and it sucks. I don't want to like discount it. Like, it's a big deal and it sucks that I can't poop on my own anymore. But there are people out there who have ostomy bags or that have to go in and get just all kinds of issue, like way worse than what I have. So it's it can be really, really scary. I'm grateful that it's not that bad for me. I'm so grateful. What's a colonoscopy like? I might have to get one. I was diagnosed with colitis. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm dreading getting one. Okay. So I have had, I think 4 colonoscopies. I want to say 4. My first one was super scary for sure, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. The only thing that I would suggest, well, you shouldn't go by me. So I have a super, super duper, unbelievably low pain tolerance, and probably because of all my issues, I have a horrible pain tolerance. Like, I'm the most sensitive person in the world. So when I woke up, I was in extreme, excruciating pain and like crying and screaming, and they couldn't give me anything because you're not in the part of the hospital where they can like set up an IV for you. So that was one thing that was hard because when I came out, it was so excruciatingly painful because I did have so many fissures and issues in there and IBS and all the things. So my stomach and my butthole were just on fire. It was so bad. So if you have a low tolerance of pain, I would ask them about that because you can't take anything before. So they would have to give it to you through an IV. But if you've got a high tolerance, then I wouldn't worry about that. And then also, the other thing, the only other negative that I could think of that was hard was that it was embarrassing because when I was coming out of it, I farted so much and so loud. And I literally, like, my farts were bringing me out of anesthesia. So I was like, I woke up and I see Danny in the corner and I hear myself farting. And then I looked up and my door had been open and right there was the nurse's station and like three of the nurses were laughing at me. So like I woke up to being in extreme pain, farting like crazy and seeing nurses laughing at me about it. And I was like, you work with people who get colonoscopies every day. It is not my fault that I was farting. They push a lot of air up there, like so much air when they put the stuff up there and the scope up there. Like, give me a break. Like, I cannot believe that they were laughing at me. Like, I was so embarrassed. So the next time I did it, they pump air in there too to blow it up so they can see it better. So the next time I did it, I said, I need to be put in a recovery room with the door shut and curtains because I'm not going to go through that again. And so they did. So they did that for me. They put me in a private room. So it's up to you. If you're sensitive physically and mentally like I was, then you should ask for a private room and medication ahead of time. And if you're not, then it's honestly the worst part about it is the prep. I forgot to tell you about that. That's the worst part. I'm not going to lie to you, okay? Because people lied to me about it. And they were like, yeah, it sucks, but it's not that bad. For me, it was horrendous. And I've had to do it a few times, and it's horrible. And you have to drink this stuff called Go Lightly every 15 minutes. You have to drink a certain amount of it. I think it's 8 ounces or 6 ounces or something. And it is the nastiest, most, it tastes like salty piss water, tap water, piss, salty, disgusting. It's so gross. It is so bad. That is the part that sucks. Like, even worse, I will say, than waking up in pain. So, if you can just get through the prep, that's the hardest part. Trust me. Um, so, you have to drink it every 15 minutes, and then you're eventually, depending on your body, it takes me a while, but most people will start pooping immediately. And it's a thing that will just clean you out. So you have to keep drinking it so you'll keep cleaning you out, and it's horrible. It's awful. But so just be prepared for that. And maybe if you prepare for like the worst, then maybe it won't be so bad. So it's the worst. It's awful. You're going to hate it. It's the worst. So prepare for it. It's so disgusting, right, Jasmine? It's so gross. Salty piss, yeah. Lemony, salty, bad tap water. That's what it tastes like. Yes, Catherine's right. Yep, that's accurate right there. Lemony, salty, bad tap water. So good luck with that. Who was it that asked about that? I promise I'm trying to be sensitive to you and not insensitive. I'm trying to like warn you because you got to be prepared, girl or boy. I don't know who you are. Yeah, it's big. You have to drink. It's like bigger than a gallon of milk, maybe more, would you say? It's a little bit more than a gallon, I would think. Maybe it's about a gallon. And you have to drink, 6 or 8 ounces or something like that at a time every 15 minutes until it's gone. And by the time you're on your last dose, you cannot breathe because you're so full. At least for me, because it wouldn't digest easily for me. And so I felt full. I felt like I was going to throw up at any second, but I had to keep it down and hope that bigger than a gallon. Yeah, that's what I thought. And just hope that it would all come out eventually. And it did. And there were 2 times. It was Amanda. I'm sorry, babe. And there were 2 times where I had pooped and I knew that I was completely cleaned out, but that I still had stuff in my body. So I called the doctor at 3 in the morning and I was like, I just finished the Go Lightly. There's no poop coming out anymore. It's just liquid. Can I please throw the rest of this up because it is killing me. Like, it is making my heart hurt. It's making me feel like I'm going to die. And he was like, don't throw it up. You need to keep it down. And I was like, I'm telling you, I've done this before. I am cleaned out. And he's like, well, why did you call me at 3 o'clock in the morning if you already know the answer? And I'm like, because you're my doctor and I'm informing you that I'm about to do this, that I'm about to purge it up. And not bulimia. It's not for bulimia. It's because I can't breathe and it makes me so sick that I don't even need to purge. It just would come right up, and it did. So, and I did. And I went and got it done. And he said that there was nothing in me, so I was right. So, I don't know, just listen to your body, call your doctor. Hopefully you'll have a better, nicer doctor than mine. Mine was a dick. Like, seriously, he was such a dick. For that one, anyway. He was awful. I know. And if you're on call, like, I hate it. Like, I've only had to call on-call doctors a couple times in my life. Like, in the middle of the night for an emergency. And it's so embarrassing already to have to do that. And so when you get a doctor that just treats you like crap, that you called them and woke them up in the middle of the night, dude, I'm sorry. I know that sucks to be woken up, but that's what you signed up for. That's what you decided. That's part of your job. That's what being on call, an on-call doctor means, is being available off hours. And yeah. Yeah, bowel doctors are awful. I have one, my gastroenterologist is amazing, but he doesn't do my surgeries. The guy that does my surgeries is an absolute dickbag. And every single surgeon I've done, I think I've only had one other surgery that was with a different doctor. Both of them were assholes, for sure. They're awful. And I told, like, my brother-in-law's a doctor, and I told him that, and he was like, well, considering what they do every day, butthole is very fitting, literally, because that's all they do is stick their fingers up buttholes and check out buttholes. And I'm like, yeah, that's a good point. So that's probably why they're all douchebags, because that's all they do is look at buttholes all day. So that's really fun. But most surgeons in general are buttholes. Most. Some are not, but most are. But that's okay, because as long as they're good at their job, that's what matters. It sucks when they're buttholes and they make you feel terrible, but because I went to see a surgeon. So this was a different surgeon. This was like a specialty. I had to drive up to Salt Lake City to like the best hospital in the state and go and see this specialist because it was so bad down there. And right before my appointment, I was terrified. So I went to the bathroom and I put on like tons of the lidocaine cream that my normal doctor had given me, like that numbs it. And I put on like tons of it because I was so nervous and so scared. And I go in there and I'm laying on the table and he goes to look at it and he reprimanded me. He was like, why did you put so much cream on your butthole? And I said, because it hurts and because I was scared. And he was like, okay, but it clearly says on the package that you only need like a pea size to numb it. And I said, I'm sorry. I guess I just did that for my own peace of mind, maybe to comfort myself. To like, he was so rude about it. My mom was there with me and even she was like, well, she just was a little scared. So no big deal. You can wipe it off if it's in your way, doctor. Like, she didn't say that, but that's the attitude she had. And I wish I would have said that. But I was like, can you just be sensitive? Like, I am terrified that I've been sent up here. I thought I had cancer. Why are they sending me to this specialist, the best specialist in the best hospital in Utah? Why are they sending me up to you? Like, I'm terrified right now. Give me a break. My butthole hurts like crazy. So yeah, he was a dick. So, do you find it odd when they ask you what your poo looks like? No. I mean, I guess maybe the first couple times I probably did. I don't remember, but I'm so used to it now. Like, I get asked that even if I'm not there for pooping problems, doctors ask me that. So, because that's connected with a lot of other things too. But I'm sure at first it was super embarrassing considering, especially that I was 14 when I was diagnosed with IBS. And then I was diagnosed with gastroparesis when I was, it was before I started YouTube. It was either like a year, maybe 2 years before I started YouTube is when I was diagnosed with gastroparesis. You're allergic to lidocaine? Aw. I'm sorry, girl. They've got other stuff that they can give you if needed, I'm sure. My insides feel swollen and my butt too. It hurts to try and poo, and I rarely can even use the bathroom, even with laxatives. Is this what you have? I would go get checked, Catherine. Yes. I'm not a doctor. I can't diagnose you, but I'll tell you that that sounds alarmingly similar to what I went through. And that's how we like tested out a whole bunch of different stuff, and enemas ended up working the best for me. So I would go get tested. Don't take that as fact. It's not. I'm not a doctor, but I think that that's very, very, very concerning, and you should go get checked. Right. Surgeons don't always have the best bedside manners. LOL. That's what nurses are for. Exactly. What's the worst is when you also get a nurse with a horrible bedside manner. But that doesn't happen super often. But when it does, it's so frustrating. I love you too, Catherine. Let me know how it goes, babe. Yeah, I've heard that, Cecilia, that you get constantly constipated when you're pregnant. The doctor was only looking out for you. Too much cream, numbing cream can cause serious BP drops, etc., even death. Careful. What? Are you sure? He didn't say that. He just said that it was goopy, and that he did not even say that to me. I've never heard that before. That's true? He did not say that. He just was annoyed that it was so goopy and that he had to get another clean towel to wipe it off. He did not tell me that. If he had told me that, then that would have made sense. I wouldn't have been mad at him if he had told me that, but he didn't tell me that. Yes, I'm a nursing student. I was not told that, so I didn't know. Now that I know that, good to know. I've never been told that. I have been given lidocaine countless times over the last 20 years, and never have they said that. They need to teach that more often then. Is this like a new study or something? Like, I feel like I would know that, right? That's crazy, Angela. That's kind of scary. Oh no. Is this like a new, like, I find it really hard to believe that over 20 years of seeing different butt doctors, I have never been told that, and being like prescribed like the highest dose of lidocaine cream that's out there. No one's ever told me that. It's never said that on the bottle. Are we back? Are we here? Okay, so I'm gonna go. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you guys tomorrow for another live stream sometime. I don't know when it will be. It might be later tomorrow night because it's Mother's Day and I'm gonna go and spend some time. I know, live and learn, right? This like really kind of blows my mind. I had no idea. So I'm gonna be spending the evening with my mom, but I'm sure I won't be out too late, so I would expect it around 8 or 9 p.m. my time. I don't know. I'll try and warn you guys ahead of time. I'll do my best to do that. But yeah, so you looked it up too. I cannot believe that. How come nobody's ever, ever, ever told me that? Nobody's ever, ever, ever told me that. That is so good to know. I'm shocked. Like, I'm kind of mad that no one ever told me that. Yeah, I will save this one just for you, Sarah. All right, I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. And remember forever and always that you're beautiful, you're worth it, and I am